Good morning. Hey, Baggy. I'm not sure what I want to talk about today. It being Sunday, I thought I might talk about my religious beliefs. Not that Sunday holds any more significance to me other than I was raised Catholic, and that was always the day that we went to church and the day that I was taught that was God's day. I've evolved. My thoughts on religion have changed. Confuses a lot of people in this world, including my spouse. It's complicated because the world is complicated and the world is convoluted. So I had to come to an understanding that most religion, an understanding within myself that most religion is man-made. That most religion is bent to the will of the men that run each religion. I think that's why most people have a problem with religions, the different sects of Christianity, the offshoots of Christianity, Muslim or Islam, Judaism, Buddhism. There's a lot of different religions, and I think that each one can be bent to the will of the man or woman or men and women in charge of those religions. And I kept seeing that. So like I said, I was raised Catholic. It hurts me to say raised Catholic, not for what anyone might be thinking, but because I know grammatically I was reared Catholic, but the common day vernacular has become raised. So I was raised Catholic. It was a good upbringing. I had good parents. I had a good childhood. And my parents taught me to think, not just to follow. So I was raised Catholic. When I went into the Navy 153.5 million years ago, I explored a lot of different religions, starting with the Catholic religion, because the Catholic religion that I went to, the church that I went to while I was fresh out of boot camp, was very dissimilar to the church that I went to in my home state of Georgia. That's where I realized that it's the leaders that are really running things, and not the deities they claim to follow. I visited, I could list a long bunch of churches that I went and visited. The most recent church that I gave serious consideration, Calvary Chapel. When I went there, it turned me off almost immediately, within the second or third meeting. I went to a Baptist church, a Methodist church, Presbyterian church. They all had one thing in common that really got under my skin. The preacher or leader or Bible study teacher would read one scripture from the Bible and then spend countless untold minutes trying to tell me what I just heard. Well, I know what I just heard it. I can understand trying to use the scripture that they just read to me in everyday life, how to apply it, but that's not usually what they did. As a matter of fact, what I almost always heard was read the scripture, and then the person teaching would say, and what this means, followed by their interpretation or how they wanted it bent or slanted, or in today's terminology, spun. And that was a complete turnoff to me. So then I studied a little bit of Buddhism. I went into a deep, deep dive on LDS, Latter-day Saints. The one thing that I will say about all religions that I investigated, that I tried, that I took to the dressing room and wore for a moment or two, was that the people, the congregants, were generally good people. But the churches, the leadership, they had one very common theme running through them. If not their way, then hell-bent. If you didn't do things how they prescribed and how they interpreted, then you were bound for hell. I could go deeper into the religious beliefs of the Trinity, not the Trinity, being saved, once saved, always saved. But again, my vocation is driving a truck. I do a very specific route. And that route takes me to a very specific destination. I want to get to that destination. There are a lot of different highways that can take me to that destination. There are a lot of different dirt roads that can take me to that destination. I can get to the Circle K from my house in a million different ways. Still end up at the Circle K. The big thing, the most important thing that I've come to believe in is when I go from point A to point B, I don't hit anything. I don't hurt anybody. I don't put anybody's life in danger. And that's analogous to me on the road to God. I'm on my way. Am I hurting anybody? Am I doing good in life? Am I helping pick people up? Am I treating the gifts that God gave me kindly? Here's one. This one right here. He wants to be in his morning position. I'm sure if he spoke Latin, it would be coffee interruptus, something like that. Or maybe that's Harry Potterisms. But that's the important thing to me. That's the thing in my heart. The thing that I believe is instilled in every human being. by God, by the universe, by whatever you want to believe in. Are you doing good? Are you making people's lives better? Are you appreciating the gifts that are given to you? I forget that. I forget all the little gifts from time to time, and I have to be reminded. And that's where I'm at. I don't think that a Presbyterian is damned to hell because they're a Presbyterian. I don't think a Catholic is, or Jew, or anybody who's not harming anybody else. I think we're all on different paths, but I think our destination should be the same. And as long as we're not hurting people, as long as we're doing good, the good that has been instilled in our hearts, I think we can all end up at that destination, at the Circle K, or heaven, the presence of God, whatever you want to call it. That is the Reader's Digest version of Joe's belief system. And a pretty heavy ramble for a Sunday. And a pretty heavy cat. And just the right amount of coffee with way too much sweetener in it. Have a fantastic day. See you guys tomorrow.